Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog, which is going to be an impeachment circus update. Latest in a series, I guess, because I'll be doing these updates occasionally until this whole impeachment fiasco is over, which the way things seem to be going could take quite a while. So if you like this impeachment update, you can look forward to perhaps many, many more. What I want to bring you up to date on today, well, by the time you're seeing this, I recorded this on Friday, so this is Monday. You may already have heard about this, but maybe not had time to go into details. And as usual, it leads to a wider point that I want to make. It looks like the Republicans, well, let's start with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is getting tough with this impeachment inquiry. That's not really an inquiry. He's doing something that I said that he should do a long time ago. So maybe he's watching my vlogs, and then you could subscribe if that's true, and you would be in good company with the President of the United States. I said that Trump should not give them anything, refuse to give them anything. Well, actually, I had said that he should let them impeach him, let it go to trial in the Senate, and then provide the information. So what is Trump doing differently from what I suggested? My suggestion was to wait for a Senate trial. Trump wrote a letter, or he was about to write a letter. He hadn't written it yet as I'm recording this, but he said he's writing a letter to the House, to Nancy Pelosi, saying that he will not turn over any requested information, provide any witnesses, will not cooperate at all unless the House votes for an impeachment inquiry. None of this Intelligence Committee, none of this Judiciary Committee, none of this Jerry Nadler, none of this Adam Schiff. It has to be a formal impeachment inquiry. Now, the reason he wants that, well, there are two reasons. The first reason, and this would also be the reason why Nancy Pelosi is resisting allowing a vote. One is more political than the other, but the one that is more political is that if she allows a vote, the Democrats who were elected, there's about 30 of them, 30 Democrats that claim to be moderate Democrats who were elected in states that Trump carried in 2016, they would be forced to vote, and they would be in a real pickle because, as somebody was saying, actually it was Donald Trump, he was complimenting Nancy Pelosi or the Democrats that they vote in line, that if Nancy Pelosi wants a certain vote, what Nancy Pelosi would probably do is she would, well, first secure enough votes to vote for the impeachment inquiry, but hopefully get more than enough votes, and then if she has more than enough votes, then she would let some of the most endangered Democratic representatives vote no. That would protect their seats, hopefully, but also the impeachment would go forward. She's still trying to avoid that, though. She does not want to be put in that position. That's number one. The second point, which is it's political, but it's also an impediment to a successful impeachment, because if there's a formal vote, the Republicans, the minority party, has some rights, and among those rights is the right to call their own witnesses. Right now, the Democrats are choosing which witnesses that they're calling. Also, the witnesses that, at least the ones that the Republicans would call, they would be testifying in public. Because right now, the Democrats are, well, they're choosing all the witnesses, all the people to whom questions can be put. The Republicans cannot choose any witnesses or people to interview at all. So it's all Democrat choices, number one. Number two, it's all behind closed doors. So we don't know what these people are testifying to. We don't know their testimony except what the Democrats choose to release, which you can be sure will be very selective and try to make Donald Trump look bad. So far, as I'm recording this, there has been one interview that was supposed to really damage Donald Trump, but according to one of the Republicans who was present for the questioning, Jim Jordan, he said that there's nothing there, that nothing is in that testimony to hurt Donald Trump, that there is, in his words, nothing. But the Democrats can spin it any way they want. Also keep in mind, though, and this is the important part, the Republican witnesses, the witnesses whom the Republicans would call to testify, that testimony would be in public so that the public would hear what they have to say. And you can be sure that those obviously would be witnesses who are favorable to Donald Trump. So Nancy Pelosi is doing everything that she can to prevent that from happening. Now, I told you just now about the Trump letter, but the Republicans wrote a letter too, and this is what I'm referring to in my title. That, and maybe it's because of Donald Trump, because he fights back. The Republicans finally are fighting back. They are being as rough as the Democrats are. So Doug Collins, the ranking Republican member on the Intelligence Committee, wrote a letter to Nancy Pelosi. This is what the letter said. I'm going to quote quite a bit from it, but it's important, so just bear with me. I am writing to request you suspend all efforts surrounding your, quote, impeachment inquiry, unquote, until transparent and equitable rules and procedures are established to govern the inquiry, as is customary. And that's a major point, that Nancy Pelosi is departing from what is customary for the reasons that I just gave you. Unfortunately, you have given no clear indication as to how your impeachment inquiry will proceed, including whether key historical precedents or basic standards of due process will be observed. In addition, the swiftness and recklessness with which you have proceeded has already resulted in committee chairs attempting to limit minority participation in scheduled interviews, calling into question the integrity of such an inquiry. And this is important. I'm going to talk about this more after the quotes. Below are several questions to which I request a public response before the House of Representatives moves forward. And here they are, several bullet points. Do you intend to hold a vote of the full House authorizing your impeachment inquiry? Do you intend to involve the full House in each critical step of this inquiry, including defining its scope and establishing its rules and procedures? Do you intend to grant co-equal subpoena power to both the chair and ranking member at the committee level? Do you intend to require that all subpoenas be subject to a vote of the full committee at the request of either the chair or ranking member? Do you intend to provide the President's Counsel the right to attend all hearings and depositions? Do you intend to provide the President's Counsel the right to present evidence? Do you intend to provide the President's Counsel the right to object to the admittance of evidence? Do you intend to provide the President's Counsel the right to cross-examine witnesses? Do you intend to provide the President's Counsel the right to recommend a witness list? Do you intend to refer all findings on impeachment to Chairman Nadler and the Judiciary Committee as prescribed by Rule 10 of the Rules of the House, or is Chairman Schiff in charge of leading this inquiry, as has been reported in the press? By answering no to any of the above, you would be acting in direct contradiction to all modern impeachment inquiries of a sitting president. By answering no to any of the above, you would be denying the president the bare minimum rights granted to his predecessors. By answering no to any of the above, you would create a process completely devoid of any merit or legitimacy. Or I would add, any fairness, which is what we're talking about, the fairness that any defendant in any trial would be entitled to, right? The president is not above the law. The president is not below the law. But as far as this answering no business, Nancy Pelosi has already answered no. She said that none of these requests need to be granted. So there's the loggerheads right now. I can predict what would happen going forward. If these requests, especially the requests for a House vote, are denied and the president refuses to provide the information, then I think it was Jerry Nadler, one of the chairmen, said that they would impeach Donald Trump over that, over the refusal to provide the information. Now, Donald Trump, knowing Donald Trump, would still refuse to provide the information, but he would have a very strong argument that possibly would force the vote, because he can argue all these points, that he's not being given a fair chance to tell his side of the story. The House is not voting for a formal impeachment inquiry, so it isn't an informal impeachment inquiry. He would win the argument, and either they would hold the vote, or they would drop the whole thing, or they would just continue doing what they're doing, just continue with this circus and bless the hearts of these moderate congressmen in the 2020 election, when this matter will be decided finally by the American voter. Not that, as I predict, the Democrats would honor that verdict of the voters. They would just continue to investigate Donald Trump for as long as he is president. As each shibboleth gets knocked down, another one will arise to take its place. I'm pretty sure of that, as sure as I am of anything. As sure as I am that I'll be doing another video. I hope you'll all come back to watch me in that next video. And thumbs up if you liked this video. Share it with anybody that you think would like it too. Subscribe, that would be really great. And as I just promised, I will be here with another video. I look forward to seeing all of you again, and perhaps a few more people as well. That would be so nice. And until that next time, bye.